Well, 3 weeks ago, I published a video saying that Thailand was on pause. And then the last couple of weeks, people have been using the word the twilight zone. And now reading the media today saying that Thailand is in limbo. Just in the past 24 hours, things have happened that weren't really expected, but we're now not going down this path or that path. We're going down a path somewhere over here. I'll try and dissect all that and bring you up to date with all the political shenanigans a little bit later on in the program. But welcome to TNT. Please subscribe to the channel, like and comment, and we'll get stuck into it. So starting today's program, heading to Chiang Mai and Nation Thailand publishing the story Explosion in Chiang Mai Fireworks Factory Leaves 11 People Injured. And there's an overhead shot of what's left of this fireworks factory and certainly a lot of damage. 11 children and adults were injured following an explosion at a fireworks factory in Doi Saket district of Chiang Mai province. And this happened on Monday. The incident took place at 12:10 p.m., causing damage to the whole factory, vehicles and residences within a radius of 500 metres, half a kilometre. So there's a directly bird's eye view shot of the incredible amount of damage caused by that fireworks factory explosion. And the mayor of Doi Saket says that a centre's been opened to assist people affected by the explosion, adding that the factory had also seen an explosion 6 to 7 years ago. And meanwhile, police at the Doi Saket police station say a person identified as Pong Sari told the police that the explosion was triggered by a spark from the electric cutout falling on the fireworks storage area. Well, we can imagine it would have been, if not horrifying, it would have been somewhat visually spectacular with all those fireworks suddenly going off and exploding, a bit like that scene out of Thoroughly Modern Millie, where they have the fireworks factory explosion. But you hope all those people do recover. And, twice in 6 or 7 years, an explosion at that fireworks factory, I figure that's probably going to get shut down. Just another shot there of what's left of that particular factory in Doi Saket up there in Chiang Mai. Next story, and this is from the PhuketExpress.com. Dengue fever cases rise in 18 provinces, including Chonburi, Phuket and Bangkok. And Thailand saw a continuous rise in dengue fever cases in 18 provinces, including Chonburi, Phuket and Bangkok, according to the Department of Disease Control. And according to the Director General of the Department of Disease Control, dengue fever cases have been increasingly detected in 18 Thai provinces for the past 8 weeks. And there's a list of them there, Phuket in bold, because, it's published in the PhuketExpress.com. And it says, moreover, the number of dengue fever cases in the past 4 weeks has exceeded the average number from the previous 5 years during the same period. And this indicates that these areas are nearing the criteria to be declared as dengue fever epidemic zones. And it says within these epidemic zones, public health officials can enter houses, buildings, places or vehicles suspected or confirmed to have an epidemic outbreak to conduct surveillance and disease control measures. And certainly just in the community around here, we're sort of living around a lake, an old tin mine, and there are plenty of mosquitoes from time to time. They were fogging the area last week. But just in recent months, a few of the residents in the community have had dengue fever, some of them very, very sick indeed. So something to be aware of, and I often put a link in the description for ways that you can do your best to avoid being bitten by mosquitoes and perhaps contracting dengue. It's not probable, but it is possible, and it's something that you can, quite easily avoid by taking some just basic precautions. So I will put a link in the description, just once again, of ways that you can avoid being bitten by mosquitoes. A big thanks to 5 Star Marine. They've been sponsors for so long. Sean keeps on changing the promotion, but I understand there's a discount on the go at the moment for any TNT viewers that click on that link and make a booking. If you're coming to Phuket and you want a VIP chartered tour out to many of the islands and in Phang Nga Bay, then I can highly recommend 5 Star Marine. Thanks, Sean. Well, now time to wade through the shambles. That is Thai politics at the moment, some 11 weeks after the actual election. No government, no Prime Minister. And today it seems that we're even further away than we were last week from actually electing a Prime Minister. This is the latest, and Thai PBS World reporting that the PM selection sitting this Thursday now in limbo. So it was going to be the third attempt to elect a Prime Minister and a government, and the House Speaker now is saying, perhaps we're going to have to postpone it. Let's find out why. The House Speaker said yesterday that his legal team will have to listen to the opinions of the House and Senate whips about whether the joint sitting of Parliament to select the Prime Minister scheduled for this Thursday will be postponed. And the whips are scheduled to meet tomorrow, adding that he needs to hear the views of the 8 coalition parties as well. Now, the 8-party coalition was put together in just the days after the election by the Move Forward Party, a coalition of 8 parties that represent some 71% of Thai voters, and so far they've been denied putting together a government here in Thailand. And all parties and the Senate have been thrown into disarray after the Ombudsman decided yesterday to ask the Constitutional Court to consider a petition challenging Parliament's majority vote on July the 19th, that was last week, to reject the Move Forward Party leader Pita Limjaroenrat's renomination as a Prime Ministerial candidate. The Ombudsman's also asked the Charter Court to order Parliament to suspend the Prime Ministerial selection process until it rules on Pita's renomination. Now, the Constitutional Court does usually meet on Wednesdays, so I imagine that we may have a ruling tomorrow. But then again, it might be weeks. We really don't know. And after the Move Forward Party decided to let Pheu Thai take the lead in forming the government, the parties invited core members of several parties, among them Bumjai Thai, Palang Pracharat, United Thai Nation, Chart Thai Patana and Chart Patana Kla, for discussions and reportedly to seek their support for their Prime Ministerial candidate. So the Pheu Thai party have pretty much ditched Move Forward Party already, and whilst they're doing that, this other matter is happening where they may suspend the vote this Thursday and Pita may get another crack at being nominated as Prime Minister. And down the bottom there, all the parties approached have declared that they will not accept the Move Forward Party in the coalition government because of its determination to amend the Lèse Majesté law. So you can well imagine that if Pita Limjaroenrat does get another crack at being nominated as Prime Minister, that he's going to fail in the votes anyway. Moving on to the next article, and it says second PM vote faces delay risk. This from the Bangkok Post. So let's see how it's covering the story and any further information we can glean. And the paragraph in the middle there, the Secretary-General of the Office of the Ombudsman said 17 complaints had been filed objecting to Parliament's resolution rejecting the renomination of Mr Pita for Prime Minister and declaring it a violation of their constitutional rights. And the complaints came from both members of the public and members of Parliament, he said, with some complainants proposing that the court postpone the next parliamentary vote for Prime Minister, pending a ruling from the court. And some 115 law lecturers from 19 institutions yesterday expressed their opposition to Parliament's passing of the resolution on July 19 to block the renomination of Mr Pita. So if you thought we're any closer to having a Prime Minister and a new government in Thailand, you'd be wrong. We're now taken off in a completely different direction, with the Constitutional Court getting rather busy having to adjudicate on several matters. So as we do every day, we'll try and keep you up to date without necessarily confusing you too much. The ThaiPBSWorld.com reporting that the outgoing Thai PM hopes for a peaceful transition of power. Then again, he does have to take some responsibility for the 2017 charter that's got us in this mess, that seems unable to be able to adjudicate to find a way out of these types of impasses. Let's see what the story says. The outgoing Prime Minister, Prayut Chan-o-cha, who is still the caretaker Prime Minister, wishes the country to remain peaceful while those concerned are forming the new government. Let's see what the current caretaker government spokesperson said. Everything is going to be better. The country's economy is recovering and more tourists are coming to Thailand. Everything's fine, nothing to see here, let's move on. And Prayut said he will do his duty and take care of the country while the new government is being set up. And a group of activists entered the Pheu Thai headquarters on Sunday. Pheu Thai, the party that got the second highest number of primary votes, that is currently trying to form a government without the Move Forward party. And those protesters aired their anger as senior Pheu Thai members were meeting with those from the United Thai Nation party. The activists called the United Thai Nation a dictator's party, as its leader is Prayut Wongsuwon, a retired army general. Well, that's not quite correct. Prayut Wongsuwon is the leader of the Palang Pracharat party. Prayut Chan-o-cha was the prime ministerial candidate for the United Thai Nation party. You can just see here, this is the numbers, the way they fell on the election day. 500 MPs in the lower house, the orange representing the Move Forward party, the red, the Pheu Thai party, and the dark blue colour there is the Phumjai Thai, who, with only about 13% of the primary vote, have been able to cobble together the third highest number of votes. So far, they haven't been much of a player in the formation of a new government, but we can be sure that Anutin Charnvirakul has been lurking away there in the background with his calculator, crunching the numbers. Moving on to our next story today, and this is from Coconuts Bangkok. It talks about the Bangkok rallies for Peter as the Move Forward's moment fades. And why do we have elections? You fooled me. This was a large banner hung from a downtown skywalk on Sunday, and the busy Asoke intersection was even more crowded yesterday when protesters packed in by the Terminal 21 shopping mall to express widespread dissatisfaction after the Move Forward party leader was prevented from becoming Prime Minister. Hundreds gathered in the rainy afternoon to protest peacefully. Now, I had a friend who was up there on Sunday and said there was quite a large crowd. That's a really busy intersection, by the way. It's along Sukhumvit Road, part of my old stamping ground when I used to work up there in Bangkok. And you block the Asoke intersection, you pretty much stop that whole side of Bangkok from operating with the traffic unable to move along Sukhumvit Road. And the protest ended around 8 p.m. without any police intervention. And we can imagine that there are going to be some more protests, but at the moment the protesters are sort of not quite sure what they're protesting about, because no final decision has been made by Parliament at this stage, and it looks like it's probably not going to be on Thursday. TNT on Tuesday. Thank you very much for dropping in. Moving on to some other news today, and Nation Thailand reporting Thailand should explore new markets for exports and tourism. Okay, that sparked my interest. Let's see what they've got to say. And the Chinese economy is recovering slower than expected, raising concerns about its impact on Thai tourism, prompting the TAT to take a closer look at trends and figures in the second half of the year, following the TDRI's recommendation, that's the Thailand Development Research Institute, to reduce dependency on the Chinese tourism market. So, okay, I found that sort of interesting. So we started wading through the actual story. We're speaking a lot about the problems in China at the moment, saying that forecast that China's economy will expand by 4.9%, an increase from the 3%, blah, 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 blah. But it was this last paragraph that I found interesting, and that Thailand should explore new export markets, focusing its efforts on regions like Central Asia, accelerating trade relations with Saudi Arabia, and pursuing free trade agreements, which accounts for up to 40% of the world GDP, and attention should also be paid to encouraging tourism from other countries in the region, including Malaysia. So nothing really definitive there. Clearly, China's got its own problems, fewer Chinese travelling to Thailand at the moment, and fewer exports going to China from Thailand. So, of course, they do need to look to other shores to bolster the economy. Moving on, and let's talk weather, and this from CNN, CNN's World Edition, and the forecasters warn Typhoon Doksuri poses risk to Philippines, Taiwan, Hong Kong and China, And that's a map published on the story, but we'll go to our own map, which we found this morning. But the story says that a growing typhoon is sweeping across the Pacific Ocean towards the Philippines, with forecasters warning it could strengthen into a super typhoon and press on towards Taiwan, Hong Kong, or mainland China later this week. And Typhoon Doksuri began as a tropical storm in the Western Pacific on Sunday morning. And this is a current chart from Google, and it shows the typhoon edging closer to the very northern tip there of the Philippines. Looks like the Philippines may dodge the worst of this super typhoon, but it's going to move on through the South China Sea, and its effects felt in Taiwan and then in southeastern China as well. Over here, Thailand, quite a long way, so not in any direct effect from this particular typhoon. A lot of the typhoons do move in a more westward direction. They come through the Philippines from the Western Pacific, across the South China Sea, through Vietnam, and then into Thailand, but not this particular storm. Having said that, more weather problems in parts of Southeast Asia, causing this story from BangkokPost.com. 15 dead or missing passengers found after Indonesia boat sinks, and at least 15 people were killed yesterday after a wooden boat sank off the coast of Indonesia's Sulawesi Island, according to search and rescue officials, adding that all missing passengers had been accounted for. The boat sank with 48 people on board just after midnight, and 6 people were rescued and taken to hospital for treatment, and the cause of the sinking was being investigated. So that's about it for our quick wrap-up of things happening around Thailand and the region. Hopefully you're a bit more up to date. Now, thank you very much to our subscribers. Really appreciate the support of 5 Star Marine. And of course, I appreciate your dropping in each day to catch up with all the main news stories. We'll be back again tomorrow with another TNT.